Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the Antler Queens, the most inclusive Yellowjackets podcast where we shove peace, love, and Yellowjackets down your beautiful goddamn throats. We also speak candidly about sensitive issues as they relate to the show, such as mental health, politics, bigotry, frog orgies, etc., because it's important to normalize these conversations. I'm Kelly Keene, University herpetology. I say that because I'm not sure if I should be Kelly Keene University herpetology or Kelly Keene University herpetology. So you can pick.
They're both excellent. I am Jazzy, Wet Knobs, and Whirly Bits Shamanic.
And we're glad you're back or have found us if this is your first time with us.
Welcome.
Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we're in a big time crunch this week, and we have no time to edit this episode, so we're not gonna. um, but so if it's a little rougher than our usual episodes, just forgive us and give us some grace on this week because
This is us doing our best.
yes, it is absolutely us doing our best. But the way that we work is we do a detailed recap first, which is very helpful for those of you who tend to miss things like me and Jazzy, or we've got some people that listen to our recaps because they don't have the show. They actually don't watch the show because they don't have Paramount, but they still want to keep up with the show.
Thanks,
So
guys.
yeah, I know, it's super flattering. So the recap is for those people and anybody else who just wants to like have something on in the background. But if you're totally not into recaps, you can skip right past it. We'll mark the chapters, and you can go right to our discussion where I mean, analyzing is kind of our jam. We overanalyze and theorize our butts off. So that's where our specialty lies. So if you want to skip right to that, be our guests. You won't hurt our feelings. But if you like recaps, then we've got very detailed ones for you. We are, in the interest of time, we're not gonna chit chat too much until the discussion. So we're just gonna
Hop right in, yeah?
right into
Let's
it.
do this.
Yeah. Let's do this.
We open on a flashback. In our flashback, it's 3 days before the barbecue, and there is a frog orgy going down in the woods. The frogs let out a horrific cry.
Sorry about that. My pictures got locked up there for a second.
The frogs let out a horrific cry. Their screams and humps make up the horrific sound we've been hearing all over the woods. Lottie screamed into the night, and the frogs answered, "Hey girl, you wanna fuck?" Mystery solved. Nearby, someone records the ruckus, perhaps making some sort of frog or audio erotica. The camera pans out to reveal the two hikers that appeared at the end of the last episode. They are frog scientists, Hannah and Edwin, and they're in the woods with their guide, Kodiak, the tall figure that Lottie mistook for Ben. Cody watches the two nerds collect frog samples and make eyes at each other, and he lights a cigarette, perplexed by Hannah's choice in men. I guess the heart wants what it wants, he posits. Back at their camp, it's 2 days before the Ben burgers. Hannah and Edwin speculate on how an eavesdropping Cody got the patchwork of scars covering his body. Cody says they're from a Sasquatch attack, telling them they'd be surprised how many things in the woods can kill them. He aims his crossbow seemingly directly at Edwin and fires, killing a rabbit right behind him. He preps and cooks the rabbit for their supper. Hannah is very attracted to Cody. She is into it. Despite her relationship with Edwin, Cody offers to share the rabbit, but Edwin insists on pulling out a peanut butter meal replacement bar out of his pocket. It's identical to the one that Coach Scott found. Cody warns him that he will run out of those bars soon, but he tells him the previous team hid a stash nearby. Wonder what that could be. On the last day before they encounter our favorite soccer team, the three adventurers shelter in their tent during a downpour. Cody and Hannah play cards as Hannah tries to learn his backstory. After several fruitless questions, Hannah asks how Cody got hooked up with them, seeing as how he doesn't seem to be the type to have found them on GeoCities. He laughs and says he too is a frog expert. He tells them the story of frogs that were looking for a leader. He says they were sitting on a log with Zeus, complaining about their lack of leadership. So Zeus got them a heron and it ate them all. The frog nerds are weirded out by this story, so Cody offers them some weed to break the tension. Fly by Sugar Ray starts playing, and that's super obvious, as the group smokes out. They explain to Cody that the Arctic banshee frog spends 7 years frozen, then thaw out to have a giant summer-long sex party before burrowing back down again. Edwin explains that this is the first time they've ever been recorded. They start goofing around again, and Hannah decides to try to use their satellite phone to call Miss Cleo and ask if Cody will ever find a Mrs. Cody. Hannah and Cody wrestle teasingly with the phone, and Hannah accidentally kicks the box, snapping off an antenna. They try to fix it, but it is destroyed. We arrive at the night of the Ben Bulgogi. Hannah and Edwin debate Cody's intentions. Cody asks if they're done murmuring about him and walks ahead. Hannah takes off after him, and Edwin calls her smitten. They pass a tree with a familiar symbol carved into its bark, but no one notices. That night, as they make camp, Edwin swipes Cody's backpack and shows her the name Eric Chong written in Sharpie on the label. Hannah scoffs, saying he probably got it at a secondhand store, but Edwin is uneasy. They suddenly smell a barbecue. Cody remarks that the smell of barbecue is not a good sign this far from civilization, but Edwin insists on checking it out. This leads us into where we last left off. The explorers coming upon the girls unknowingly and inviting the frogs for an orgy. Sorry. The explorers coming upon the girls unknowingly inviting the frogs for an orgy. Hannah hits record on the DAT tape, and they see the teens dancing and screaming around the fire. They approach cautiously when Lottie screams, "No!" Edwin screams, "What the fuck?" at the sight of Ben's severed head, and Van says, "We're going home," as the opening credits start to play. Back from the credits, Hannah apologizes for interrupting their howling. Misty stammers that Ben died of natural causes. Edwin is in shock, slowly piecing together that the girls are eating Ben, when suddenly, crack, Lottie knocks him on the back of the head with her axe. Most of the girls start screaming in terror, except for Shauna, who smiles and says, "Holy shit." Lottie tells them the frog nerds do not belong here. It does not want them here. Cody shouts for Hannah to run, and they dash away from the team. The girls ditch their furs and begin to give chase. Cody shoots Melissa with his crossbow, and Shauna... Sorry, I lost my place. Cody shoots Melissa with his crossbow, and Shauna shouts for Mari to leave Edwin for dead and take care of Melissa, threatening that if Melissa dies, Mari will follow her. She takes off, growling and running after Cody. Melissa screams for Shauna to come back, but she is in full feral mode, racing after Cody and Hannah. Mari rushes to help Jen pull the crossbow bolt out of Melissa's shoulder. She yells at Lottie, calling her a psycho, and says they were probably here to help them. Lottie is too busy feasting on Edwin's brains like a 2-year-old eating a birthday cake. She is whispering, you'll see," into her brain cereal. The girls try to pull the bolt, and Melissa screams horribly. Natalie instructs the girls who stayed behind to clean everything up. They don't know how many others are out there and who else may show up. Hannah and Cody run, as Hannah suggests they head back to the camp for supplies. Cody tells her they need survival instincts, and her desire to go back to camp is making him think she doesn't have any. Hannah panics and splits from Cody, running back to their camp as the pack closes in. Nat sees them split and silently points directions, sending a cluster led by Travis after Cody. Van and Ty begin to run, while Nat and Shauna put their torches out and run a different path. Hannah dashes through the open field, returning to the cover of trees and accidentally ripping a chunk of her hair out on a branch. Van and Ty are close behind, howling and growling. She dips behind the hollow of a log and goes unnoticed by the passing hunters. Hannah calms herself for a moment and then lifts the recorder to her chest. She records a note for her daughter we hear Shauna listening to earlier. She calls her sweet baby Alex and prays the tape will find its way home to her, even if she doesn't. She says, I just need you to know that I love you, her voice echoing in Shauna's mind in the present timeline. Ty and Van find the Frog Nerds camp with satellite phone. Van frantically tries to call her mom, but realizes quickly that it's broken. Ty points out the supplies, and crying, Van says they don't need any of that. They just need to find these people so they can go home. Akilah and Travis hunt for Cody while Akilah tries to make sense of what Lottie did. She tells Travis that Lottie must have seen something that told her that Edwin was a bad guy. Misty runs up, pointing out that shit ridge is up ahead. Travis and Akilah run off to chase Cody towards the ridge. Hannah, still in her hiding place, hears gunshots ring out and she begins to run. Shauna finds Hannah's hair on the branch and realizes that she's close. Hannah watches Nat and Shauna find one of her footprints. She steals her nerves and slowly reveals herself for the surprised girls, begging them not to hurt her. Shauna presses a knife up against Hannah's spine. You shot an arrow at our fucking friend. Shauna growls at the terrified woman. Hannah says it wasn't her. She tells them that they hired Cody as a guide, but they don't know him. Van and Ty run up to the group, relieved that one of the members have been retrieved. Natalie suggests they head back to camp to decide what to do next to get them all home. But Shauna says they should just kill them all. Someone will send a search team looking for them, and they can get rescued without leaving any witnesses. Ty is shocked, telling Shauna that it is a bad time to go rogue, pointing out how Natalie had recently been deposed. Van insists that it's bad enough that Lottie already killed one of them, pausing to say a quick sorry to Hannah. Hannah mentions Melissa, who is back at camp in need of help. She tells the girls she knows where there's first aid supplies. The hunting party continues to howl and yip as Cody hides in the woods. He spots Misty sneaking up behind him and fires his crossbow. She dives out of the way, losing her glasses in the process. Cody runs away from the sound of gunshots and right towards Travis and Akilah, waiting for him. He manages to stop himself from running right off the edge of the ridge, but is unable to stop his inertia and slides over the edge on his stomach. Grabbing onto a root, he keeps himself from falling into the darkness. Travis and Akilah step towards the edge of the cliff, watching him struggle. Cody tells Travis to save a bullet and begins to let go of the root and fall to his death. Travis stops him and passes him the butt of the gun, telling Cody to take them back to civilization with him and he will pull him up. Akilah asks Travis what he's doing, and together they help pull Cody up on the ledge and onto his feet. Back at the camp, Lottie continues to do patty cakes with Edwin's brains, while Mari and Jen try to pull the bolt out of Melissa's shoulder. Lottie approaches and asks if they need any help. Mari tells Lottie to go fuck her blood dirt. Together, they force the arrow through Melissa's shoulder and out the other side. Natalie returns with Hannah, Shauna, Van, and Ty. Lottie looks like an extra from a movie about the Manson clan. She stares at Hannah in dismay, her mouth, face, and hands covered in Hannah's boyfriend's blood. Hannah surveys the intense scene and offers a tentative, "Hi, I'm Hannah."
All right. Sorry for our intermittent moments of silence here. Like I said, we are literally doing this live and don't have any time to edit, so just bear with us, guys. We are now jumping into the adult timeline, and we kick things off with Shauna arriving home. Um, I'm sorry. No, Shauna is not arriving home. Talking about like it's a little chaotic over here. Shauna is actually sitting in the bathroom preparing to listen to the dad tape. The crunch of Lottie's axe hitting Edwin's skull is the first sound she hears, followed by her own voice saying, "Holy shit." Shauna winces, remembering. She fast forwards the tape and catches a section of Hannah crying while recording a goodbye message to her daughter. She mentions having a teen pregnancy, and this punches Shauna in the gut. She pulls out her phone and Googles Hannah, finding a memorial page for her. Jeff knocks on the bathroom door, asking if he should use the bathroom in the hotel lobby. Shauna says no and immediately leaves the restroom, hiding the tape and the player in her purse. She tells Jeff that he shouldn't be hanging out in the lobby. They're hiding from a murderer. She grabs her purse and starts to head out of the room. Frustrated with Shauna's hypocrisy, Jeff complains about Shauna having the freedom to come and go as she needs while he's stuck in this poorly furnished shitbox. Shauna says she's trying to protect their family, and Jeff says that he appreciates that secrecy is her love language, but Callie is missing more school and he's not able to run his business from the hotel. He wishes Shauna would let him help, and she tells him that he can help by watching Callie because Callie is too smart and has too many questions about the past, and she needs to back the fuck off for her own safety. And the same goes for you, sweetie. Jeff is clearly hurt, but cedes control to Shauna. We pan out to the adjoining room to see Callie listening intently at the doorway. As her parents' voices trail off, she types Unsolved Missing Persons Canada 1990s into a search engine and starts to explore. At the hotel, Ty snoozes in bed while Van paces in her bathrobe. The locks to their doors start to beep, and Van rushes over, but before she can open it, in walks Misty, who has been let in by another hotel employee dressed like the No Eyed Man. Van calls Misty a fucking psycho as Misty tips the hotel worker and tells her the nation thanks her for her service. Van grabs a butter knife from the table and hops into bed ready to defend Ty, who sleepily asks if Misty has ever heard of a phone call. Misty says she's here to look Ty in the eye and ask her why she hasn't told them that she spoke to Lottie in person the day that she died. Ty hops out of bed, saying it wasn't anyone's business and it doesn't suggest that she killed her, if that's what Misty is implying. Misty says, "You're right. Implications are for the timid." She asks Ty directly if she killed Lottie. Misty points out that she lied and she has a history of doing weird shit and not remembering it. Van looks at Ty tentatively. Misty clocks the glance and says Van believes she could have done it, doesn't she? There's a long pause and they exchange some meaningful glances. And finally, Van says no. Ty is relieved and tells Misty that whoever sent Shauna the tape is probably the one who killed Lottie. What tape? Misty asks. Hannah's words to her daughter echo in Shauna's mind. "I just need you to know I love you," as she exits the hotel elevator to find herself face to face with Van, Ty, and Misty. Annoyed, she asks why Misty is there. Ty insists she's here to help and asks Shauna what's really going on. Stepping off the elevator, she reveals that the tape contains more than the evidence of Lottie's murder. It also includes a message to Hannah's daughter. They all react in horror at the knowledge. Shauna says what's important now is that they need I'm sorry, what's important now is they know that Hannah's daughter somehow got a hold of the tape from the wilderness and is out to punish them. Ty asks Shauna what her plan is. Shauna says to stop her. What else? "Great, I am sensing cleanup," announces Misty, already annoyed. Shauna reminds her that she didn't ask for Misty's help. Misty says if history serves, she will ask late and rudely. Sarcastically, Shauna says she's just going to sit her down and have a gentle, reasonable conversation with her. The women are unconvinced. Shauna says she already tried to kill her once, so I asks her to clarify, and Shauna mentions her breaks. Misty is surprised she's no longer being accused of this. Ty lists Shauna's gripes with the mystery woman naming the brakes, the freezer, and the spooky phone in the toilet. Shauna tells Ty she's free to mock her, but she's not going to sit around and wait to end up like Lottie. Van insists they're going with her, Trying to discourage them, Shauna tells them it's all the way in Richmond, Virginia. Misty insists they are coming, and maybe she can finally be the last person to listen to the tape. Shauna drives her minivan down a country road, Van riding shotgun alongside her. Ty and Misty sit in back as they listen to Hannah's message. Misty turns off the tape, insisting there is no mention of offspring in Hannah's obit. Shauna informs them it's because it was a teen pregnancy. Hannah's daughter never even knew her mother's name, but she managed to find the girl's birth records in Hannah's hometown, and from there, her current address. Van says someone must have known, and that's why they smuggled the tape out in the first place. Ty mentions Jen and Melissa were both close with Hannah, but Van replies they're both dead. Misty states they're dealing with two mysteries. One, who brought the tape back from the wilderness? And two, why would Hannah's daughter wait 25 years for revenge? Your Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad by Tammy Wynette starts playing in the background as Shauna pulls up to a gas station. Shauna tries to bully Ty into paying for gas, but her card is declined. Ty shrugs it off, blaming hotel charges. Shauna heads inside to pay, leaving Van and Ty alone. Van asks if Ty was ever going to tell her she saw Lottie the day she passed. Ty tells Van she asked her about what she said the night Natalie died, that it was happy with them. Van moans and says, "Not this again." Ty mentions Van's miraculous improvement, but Van says regardless, she doesn't want to live that way. Near tears, Ty says that she will bear the burden for her. Back on the road, Misty is trying to get a game of I Spy going when she sees a receipt under Shauna's seat from the Lincoln Tunnel for the day that Lottie died. Walter begins calling. Misty answers the phone, reminding him that she's asked him not to call. He tells her that the hair sample he pulled from Shauna matches the hair that she found under Lottie's fingernails. It seems that Shauna is the one who killed Lottie. Nervously, Misty tells him thank you, but compliments are not a good reason to call and asks him not to call again. She frantically starts a group text between her, Ty, and Van, letting them know Walter has ID'd Shauna as Lottie's killer. The women all text silently and exchange frantic looks. Shauna quickly catches on and demands to know what's happening. Ty tries to Ty tries to cover, saying she needs to use the bathroom, but Shauna refuses to stop the car. Suddenly, Van vomits a ton of blood. Ty wheels Van into a hospital. She cries out to the intake nurse that she has metastatic cancer and has been throwing up blood. Misty and Shauna are shocked by this news. Van is angry at Ty for spilling her secret, but she insists the doctors need to know. The nurses begin to wheel her back, and Ty announces that she's family, claiming that Van is her wife. The staff at the hospital insists on family only and makes Misty stay in the waiting room with Shauna. In the waiting room, Shauna is stricken, saying that cancer is so unfair after everything they've been through. It's Van. She can't die. Misty turns on her angrily and asks her to stop pretending to care. They all know she killed Lottie, and there was DNA evidence under Lottie's nails proving it. Misty then grills her about the receipt, placing her in the city at the time of Lottie's death. Shauna starts to explain about Jeff's karma forgery. Shauna starts to explain about Jeff's karma forgery cat, but instead asks Misty what is wrong with her. After a few moments of bickering and awkward silence, Shauna gets up and announces she's getting a Coke. She would offer Misty something, but apparently she's a terrible friend. Shauna storms to the vending machine, and the moment Misty is distracted, she takes off in the minivan. Van lies in her hospital bed as Ty sourfully picks at her bedding. Ty says this is exactly what they were afraid of. She wishes Van would let her help. In the next bed, a man suffering from a psychotic episode begins screaming that the devil is calling as the orderlies try to sedate him. His screaming and thrashing is visibly bothering Ty, who calmly says she's going to kill that guy. Van grabs her hand and softly says, "Don't." Ty prepares Ty pretends to be wounded, claiming it's just an expression. Ty says she's right here, relax. She takes a deep breath and hears her own teenage voice reciting one of Lottie's meditations. She's quickly pulled into a vision of the wilderness. Still in her hospital bed, she's approached by Teen Van holding a torch. They react to adult Van's condition with dismay. "Look at you. You're afraid. We never actually cheated death. It was always an even trade." She lights the bed on fire with the torch. Adult Van begs her to stop, screaming as the fire climbs the bed toward her. She opens her eyes and she's back in the hospital, but something is still off. Issa is there, mouth covered in dirt. Don't worry, I won't let them take your eyes, she says cryptically. This isn't the end for us. You're not going to die, Issa says, staring at Van intently. Van asks her to go away, that she needs Ty. Issa pouts, but I'm the one who can save you. Van begs her for information, but she wakes up in the real hospital room to Ty telling the nurse her blood type as they prep her for a transfusion. Ty promises Van she won't die, her voice shaking with fear. Jeff is searching for bed bugs, convinced they're the source of the rash that is covering his arms. Kelly tells him she doesn't believe there are any bugs. The rash is a physical symptom of him trying to repress his concern for Shauna's activities. She asks Jeff, what if Shauna is actually just a bad person? She tells him that in 1997, two researchers and their guide went missing less than 100 miles from where the Yellowjackets were found. Jeff makes excuses, but Kelly brings up the tape, saying that Shauna and Van and Ty all knew exactly what it was. Jeff asks if she thinks her mom and her friends, and he starts to scratch her arm. Kelly stops him gently, saying, I think deep down we both know they could have done it. Shauna arrives at her destination, staking out the house. She's purchased a new knife identical to her wilderness knife. She pulls it from the shopping bag and sets it on the seat next to her as Bloodbound by the Cocteau Twins plays. We focus on Shauna's face as the song lyrics announce that the Blood Woman has arrived. It begins to go dark as the song plays us to the credits. Oh, so cool to hear Cocteau Twins.
Yeah, I love that song.
I know.
Excellent placement.
I used to, oh my God, I used to love the Cocteau Twins. They're probably like, they might be the first cool band that I ever liked. You know, like, after I stopped listening to more than top 40 as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think the first bands that I ever actually liked that went beyond top 40 were the Cure and Cocteau Twins. I wasn't goth at all.
That's a good start.
I wasn't goth at all in high school.
Just a freckle.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I want to, before we get into the heavy discussion, I just want to bring up, and I'm sorry, I had a screenshot of Issa with her dirt mouth, and I don't know where it went.
Yeah, that's all right.
But
we know what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. But I just have to say, I love this screenshot so much. For those listening, it's a picture of Misty standing in front of a sign that says "Keep clear." Very
I love
appropriate.
A well-placed sign. Yeah.
Yes.
I love how they fighting in that waiting room, and the like people working just keep looking at them.
I know.
They have to start whisper fighting.
I know. As
I loved this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I'm so glad they really redeemed themselves for me. Because I just I was so disappointed in season 2, and I'm loving this season. Now for those of you wondering about Van's vitals here, her heart rate, her blood pressure it's a little low, but it's okay.
Uh-huh.
Her heart rate's pretty fast, and her oxygen's bad.
Yeah.
Her oxygen is not
good.
Yeah, that is not 85 is not a good number. That's not good at all. And combined with the 132, and when you take those numbers into account, her blood pressure kind of really does suck. Like that's like kind of like 100 over 70 is kind of like my blood pressure. Like my blood pressure is usually around those numbers. But I'm not dying, so
I just know mine's high.
Yeah. Yeah, with the other stuff combined, it's just her vitals aren't good. They're not good.
No.
They could be worse, but they're not. They're definitely not good. Um, but
I don't understand how she went from her cancer is no longer metastasizing. Was it 2 episodes ago or 1
yeah,
episode ago, to like her being like hospitalized puking in like in 2 days.
yeah.
How much
I
blood does the wilderness in New York need? I'm just
I have a theory.
confused. Oh,
Um, I'm wondering if there's some like malpractice here.
ooh.
If I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen Saw too many times. I don't know. And that was the deal with John Kramer. Like, basically, his cancer got diagnosed late because they mixed up his chart with another patient's.
Oh my.
Um, and so, like, I don't know. Maybe that's why my mind automatically jumps to that. Um, but yeah, I'm wondering if it was a mix up, if it was a
That's
patient mix up.
interesting.
Yeah. Um,
That's interesting.
because you know me, I'm totally on the logical train this season.
Yeah.
That I just think that everything is gonna have that I just feel like there's gonna be an answer for everything.
I definitely don't think that any amount of murders can cure cancer.
You sure about that?
I
I
mean, I'd
don't
be willing to test, but
know.
um
What about,
yeah.
like I mean, what if you do a lot of murders? Like, I don't know, maybe if you do, like, 23 in one day or something. You think that
That is
might
a I don't know what the science is, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
you're
guess
probably
if you've
right.
exhausted all your other options, it can't
Yeah,
hurt to
well,
try.
I mean, if anybody has a loved one out there that's battling cancer, and you want us to try killing some people for you, just let us know. We'll give it a go.
We
See how
take
it works
Cash
out.
App, PayPal.
Yeah. I'm kidding, please don't do that.
Yeah,
We're not going to kill anybody.
I
Um,
am very slow. I have a hard time catching your victim.
oh my gosh.
What was the screenshot at the top you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so let's talk about Kodiak.
Yes, please.
Do you think that okay, first of all, Joel McHale, hi. We love
What's
Joel
up,
McHale.
Jeff Winger? Happy
Yes.
to see you.
I thought about it too late, but I thought about it way too late, and I wish I had thought of it earlier because I wanted to add a soundbite, a chicken tetrazzini soundbite in here somewhere.
I love that. Ugh. We'll go back in time and fix that.
I know. That was, like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite constantly reused bites on the soup was the chicken tetrazzini.
I loved the soup.
I know, I did too. Like, I just my husband and I were pretty, like we were ready. I mean, we were prepared for it to end whenever he decided to leave because 'cause we're like, "They're not
Mhm.
gonna be able to replace him. There's no fucking way." Um,
Did Aisha Taylor take over for a while?
no, she was before.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I don't know the
Yeah,
timeline.
it was I I think I can't remember who was first, and I think was Rosie O'Donnell host it for a little while?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no memory of that.
And then Greg Kinnear hosted it for a long
Mhm.
time. Um, and then Hal Sparks.
Really? Where is Hal
Yeah.
Sparks? Not this podcast, but I love Hal Sparks.
Yeah, Hal Sparks doesn't like me.
No? Is
No.
it for a legitimate reason though? It's not, right?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
of course.
It's
It's not
not.
your fault, Hal. We'll talk you around. You're just misinformed, buddy.
He got mad at me for defending liking villains. I mean, liking villainous characters.
All right, Hal.
I'm like, it's fiction, dude. Come
Take a
on.
chill pill. Yeah, they're not actually hurting people.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we bickered for a while over it. It's kind of funny.
That's so funny.
Um,
The internet's amazing.
I know. Yeah, I had an internet spat with Hal Sparks. Um, and then Aisha Tyler took over after that.
Mhm.
And she was great. And then Jim Henson. Wait, who was first? Was it Jim Henson or Aisha Tyler?
Jim Henson?
I mean, John Henson. Jim Henson.
Okay.
Jim Henson.
I was like, as himself?
John Henson.
Was
Yeah.
this?
No relation, I don't think. Yeah, and then Joel McHale, who hosted it for the longest.
Steve and I went to his they when they did a soft reboot of the Soup for Netflix called the Joel McHale Show with Joel McHale. We went to 2 tapings of that.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
we're actually in the like thumbnail of the episode. Like you can spin if you pull it up on your Netflix, you'll see Steve and I like in the top corner of the audience.
Oh,
in
that's
the
so
thumbnail.
cool.
Yeah, I thought it was
So
cool.
cool. Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of it, but excuse me, but then I just got bored and moved on to something else. But yeah, but I love Joel McHale. But it's so funny that like that Lottie saw him and thought Ben, because he's probably like 6 inches taller.
Yeah, I was gonna say a foot taller than Ben.
Yeah. Yeah, Joel McHale is a very, very, very tall man.
We hugged him. I came up like his hip was like here on me, and I'm 5'8". So like, yeah, he's a tall man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's very tall. But anyway, so really cool to see him. Um, do you think he's related to Cabin Guy?
Yes, I'm so
Okay.
glad you brought that up.
Let's talk about it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. It's getting a little warm in here, so I'm gonna turn my fan on while you start explaining what makes you think
Word.
that.
Okay. Part of what makes me think that is that he would not give any information on his background at all. Everything he said was like jokes and lies, and
Yeah.
I assume. I also feel like I might be misremembering this, but weren't there empty cans of Kodiak tobacco in the cabin when they got there?
Were there really?
I feel like there were like empty tobacco cans, like chewing tobacco cans that they cleaned out of the cabin. But I might be
Wow.
making that up. It just fits
Damn.
the what you like the essence of the dirty rundown man cabin.
Yeah.
Um but if he is connected to those people, like, I mean, what we know as viewers is at least, his daddy, uncle, whatever. So that
Yeah.
one of them died there and was left to rot. So like, if he is connected to them, it's probably not, a good, healthy relationship at this point because they're dead.
Yeah. By the
But
way,
yeah.
speaking of Cabin Daddy, just want to remind everybody that Cabin Daddy originated with the Antler Queens. Okay.
Oh. I just
Just
saw
wanted you to
someone
know.
say today on Reddit that they love that the whole fandom still calls him Cabin Daddy. But what else are we gonna call him? We don't know his name. We
It
don't even know who's
started with
playing
the
him
Antler Queens.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I'm sorry, keep going.
No, you're good.
Oh.
It just seemed like he knows the woods. He knows the area. Um he's not connected to any of the like teams that are exploring it.
Yeah.
So like what's his connection? No one lives out there. I don't know. It
Yeah.
kind of fit for me. It gave my brain a tickle.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Um, yeah, I mean, it seems to me like he just really wanted to go back to that area.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, he didn't really have like he was super shady.
He's
Um,
very weird about talking about himself.
yeah.
Like,
But
why would you worry about that in the pre-internet? Like, you can
right?
say, yeah, they're never gonna find you.
So I kind of I kind of had a suspicion about him like as soon as we found out that he was the guide just for those reasons. Um,
Mhm.
but what really jumped out at me is when they started playing cards, when they started, like,
Mhm.
tossing cards into the hat, whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
It did not have anything to do with the cards, though. It was the
Mhm.
hat. Because if you guys remember, in episode was it episode 3, I think? I think it was episode 3, Them's the Breaks, when they had the hallucination,
Yeah.
and Van, if you're listening to this, I'm pulling up the images on our YouTube channel so you can check out our video. But we saw Van imagine that she was hallucinating that she was in the cabin, but it looked a lot different. Like, you know, that it had curtains that were intact and everything um and there there were like coats and stuff hanging by the doorway on hooks and there was a hat hanging there. And it kinda looks like the same kinda
Yeah, there it
hat.
is.
Yeah.
That is the same hat.
Yes. Yes. So
That does not seem like a production error either. That
no.
seems like a very deliberate clue.
Yep. Yeah, so I definitely think that he is related to,
Connected. Is he Cabin's son?
yeah,
Cabin
yep,
brother-in-law?
Kevin's son and Kevin daughter. And maybe he's out there to try to find his sister, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We know that the footage that got lost of Van, or there was footage lost of Van finding Cabin wife's journals, right?
Yeah,
So I wonder if that's why Van's flashback was to the cabin.
yeah. Although it's
Curious.
although it's hard for me to, like I don't know, I'm confused though about the timeline because well, it
You
depends
know
on
what
when
bothered me?
what's that?
Where was the rainstorm for the girls? The
Oh,
rainstorm,
weird.
there was a huge rainstorm the night before Ben died, and we I feel like we were there for that night on our side of the mountain, right? Am I
Yeah.
misremembering that? I don't remember there being a big rainstorm the night before Ben died. Maybe they
Yeah.
didn't show us that night, but I feel like they did.
Yeah, I don't recall that either. Huh, interesting. Um, I also want to bring this up. I was super excited that to find out that Hannah went to Keene University, which is a
Oh,
fictional
sorry.
university, spelled the same way too, Keane. So that was super cool. So KUH,
That's about you. That's an Easter egg
it
for
totally is.
you.
I'm going with it.
I That's my headcanon. I believe it. It's true.
I'm going with it. Um, and, yeah, and so the KUH stands for Keene University Herpetology. Um,
Hmm.
I'm, I do wanna know who Eric Chung is.
Yeah, that's gonna be important.
Yeah.
I'm real curious about a lot of things.
Me too. Um,
I
so
cannot get the image of Lottie straight fingering that guy's brain. Just
what the fuck?
like eating pudding with your fingers. It was so gross. So
Girl, what
gross.
is going on with you? My fucking god, man.
Like, I don't understand why people are still like, let's listen to her.
Right? Right?
Is
When
no one at the point where they're like, maybe she needs some help. Can the
yeah.
wilderness provide us a Xanax, like, or some form of antipsychotic? Yeah.
Um, okay, and, what about Shauna's fucking face when Lottie killed Edwin?
Yeah, that was wild.
Holy
She's the
shit.
only one who reacted that way too.
Well, Lottie kinda smiled after she did it, a little
Well,
bit.
yeah,
Not
that's a
as ecstatically
given.
as Shauna.
Yeah. Shauna was thrilled.
Yes.
And then she was like, let's just kill them all because people will come looking for them and we'll get rescued anyway. Like, girl,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, she's
She's in
fucking
her
lost
villain
it.
era.
She's fucking lost it now.
Yeah.
So I also wanna point out, I fucking loved the GeoCities reference.
Yeah.
That was pretty brilliant. So, for those I'm old as dirt, so, I actually remember GeoCities.
I remember GeoCities.
Yeah. So, for those younger ones out there who weren't around in the days of GeoCities, I just wanna show you just give you a little taste of what they looked like. Um, so welcome to Wienerville. They were, like, just really it basically, you could go to GeoCities and set up any kind of website. Like, people would have websites dedicated to their dog or to their
Hmm.
or to their kid or whatever. Um, but yeah, they all looked really bad, and there were usually a lot of sparkles.
Yeah.
And
MIDI background music and
yeah, and just looked
I love how many
generally
dog
awful.
ones you use.
No.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all dogs. Oh my god. Um, yeah, it's the ones that I've got here they're literally all dogs. But yeah, it's just it's hilarious. Netscape. My god. Um, but yeah, that's what GeoCities looked like. Thank God the internet doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah, it was ugly
Yeah, it was really fucking
in its
ugly.
infancy.
Yeah, MySpace kinda looked a little like that too, but
Yeah.
more obnoxious.
Got so good at coding when I had MySpace. Like, I had my whole, like, my colors, like, every single, like, box was a different color, and all my fonts were different colors, and I had, like, 3 different Backstreet Boys songs that would play in a row, and, like, I got
Right?
really good at it, and then as soon as MySpace fell out of fashion, that all went out of my head, and I could not
Yeah.
tell you one thing about it anymore.
That's how my husband and I met, was
Oh,
MySpace.
are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. That's an
'Cause I
elder millennial, like, story of gold.
right? Yeah, 'cause I had a couple of music groups on there, and he joined one of them, and I was, like, checking out every single person that joined my group, and I would, like, send them a message and, like, usually comment on something on their profile or, just to be friendly, and I was like, he had his musical interests all over his profile, and it's like, "Holy shit, dude. We have like an identical music collection. What the fuck? Um, and he had a an extra ticket to see the Cramps, which was like a huge deal because I mean it was like a
Kelly,
reunion.
why hasn't Tom Hanks made this movie yet?
I know, right? And like and I brought it up first because I was like, we were talking about music. I'm like, yeah, I'm so mad. Like I love the Cramps and I didn't get a ticket in time. And he's like, well, I happen to have an extra ticket. So I
That's
was
amazing.
yeah. So that's how we met. And we've been together for it was we've been together for it
Since
was
my
20
face.
years. It was 20 years in October. And in May, it will be 18 years that we've been married. Holy fuck. That's a
Shout out to
long ass
Jim.
time. And the
That's an
cramps.
awesome story. And the Cramps, yeah. And the MySpace. What a great weird time. I'm
Yes.
really surprised it's the one that folded because it was so much more customizable.
I
I've
know.
had
I know.
like I have gotten called at like 2 o'clock in the morning to someone screaming at me for taking them out of my top 8.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. We're totally getting off on a tangent here.
Not to get on a tangent.
Yeah.
Uh,
But,
what were we
but yeah,
talking about?
Joel McHale's character, Cody.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I definitely think he's related to Cabin family. And I think he just like I don't know, maybe he needed the transportation to get back there. I don't know. I don't know what his deal was. Um, but yeah, who knows? Um,
Hopefully we'll learn some more.
yeah, yeah, I hope so. So what what are your theories on Hannah and the tape?
Well, we see her hide it when
Yeah,
she's out hiding from Nat and Shauna. We know she buries it out there. Um, I mean, I'm already assuming that Melissa is alive. I feel
yeah,
like they really, really strongly suggested that in episode 1.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm assuming they like Ty mentions that Jen and Melissa got close to her in this episode.
yeah,
So I'm guessing that Melissa is the one who brought it back and
yeah,
the one who sent it to Shauna, and they're just mistaking that it's Hannah's daughter.
yeah, yeah,
Um, or maybe Hannah's daughter is involved, but I think it's Melissa that's behind the whole thing,
yeah, yeah.
most
I think I mean
likely.
they made it seem pretty obvious.
I
I
think
think.
so, especially with the ending of the episode of her being like, "Who's stalking me?" And then the next scene is teen Melissa, and Shauna says, "Stalk much?" Like, I
Yeah,
feel like that's too direct a parallel. I don't know. People keep telling me that that foreshadowing is red herrings, and that I read too much into foreshadowing. But I think that's how TV is supposed to work. Call me
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. No, I think so. Um, but what okay, what is up with these hotel workers? Oh, like
Yeah.
so the 2 hotel employees that we've seen, okay, they've both been Asian. So
Hmm.
it's not it's natural that they would have black hair. But it's all cut a certain way, you know what I
They all have
mean?
that bob, the no-eyed bob. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're kind of dressed like the no-eyed man. So what the fuck is
Yeah.
up with that? Like I I'm so confused.
Ty did
And
pick the hotel.
yeah. Yeah, I don't understand, man. I am so confused. Um what
I
What did you think
the
about this whole sequence in the hospital with teen Van and adult Van
I thought it
and
was a great scene. I loved getting to see them together, even though it was only for a very quick moment.
yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, I feel like it's firm confirmation that Issa has been there the whole time, and we haven't seen Ty. Um,
What do you think
but
about what Van said to her? Like, what teen Van
that
said
there
to
was
it?
always an equal exchange. That I was really curious about that because there wasn't always.
Yeah.
Like, not every like, what about the wolves? No, like, Van's the only one who got attacked by the wolves, and everyone else survived.
Yeah. Um, I mean, is it like was the wolf the sacrifice? Like,
Oh, maybe that that makes sense.
um, or Ty was up in that tree.
Yeah.
Was Ty supposed to be the one attacked?
Yes, I 100% think that because Issa stole Lottie's
Yeah.
protection necklace before she climbed high up that tree,
Yeah.
which is why I still say that Issa is not a agent of random chaos. She seems
Yeah.
to be making very deliberate moves, mostly to keep Ty alive so that she can continue to use her body for whatever the fuck she's doing. But like,
Yeah.
I don't think that Issa just acts out randomly to be evil. I think that she has an agenda she's working towards. Um,
So if Issa was gonna let Van die, why is she so gung ho on being with her now?
I don't believe that she wanted to let Van die.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but I think her goal is protect Ty and Van unless it's only advantageous to protect Ty in that moment. Like
Gotcha.
I obviously I don't know if it's just how much Ty is in love with Van, or if they're both in love with Van, or there is a no Issa and it's just, Ty's mind being fractured or whatever. But
Yeah.
whatever it is that creates Issa also cares for Van and also tries to protect Van as much as possible until it is not protecting Ty. And then
That
she
makes sense.
throws Van under the bus.
That makes sense. Um, you know, by the way, it makes me so sad that Thaisa and Van, cannot biologically have babies together. Because could you
I
imagine how beautiful those babies would be?
know.
Oh
Ugh,
my god. Those babies would be gorgeous. Look
I
at this
can't.
hair. Look at
I
her. Like,
know.
my god. Tawny Cypress is just so stunning.
She's
Just
so
so
close
stunning.
to being a black ginger already. Like, with just
Yeah,
a
I
little
guess.
extra juice, those babies could rule the world.
Oh my god. Could you like I'm just imagining them all having hair like ties, but the color of Vans. Like,
Freckles and green eyes,
oh god. Yeah, they would be gorgeous
but they
babies.
don't get sunburned. Ugh, it's a super baby.
I know, I know. Oh, such a shame, man. Science make it happen somehow. Um, but yeah, it's a shame. So like what do you think is gonna what do you think okay, actually, let me back up here. Um, what do you think Shauna killed Lottie?
No, she's on my list,
Yeah,
but I she's she's third, and she's technically splitting third with Ty
yeah.
on my list. I've said
Um,
my list is Walter, Callie, and then Shauna or Ty, but I really don't think it's Ty, even though they are trying to make it seem like it's Ty.
yeah.
I'm tired of everything getting blamed on Ty. I have a sneaking suspicion it's for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Why does everything get blamed on Ty? But anyway, um, yeah, I think if it is uh Sadeki, it's gonna end up being Callie. I think they're doing like an OJ Simpson, like
Yeah.
it's Simpson DNA, not
Yeah.
just technically OJ. Like that's where I see that going.
Yeah, same.
Um,
As soon as Walter pulled that hair from Shauna's hat, I'm like, "Oh, Callie just shot to the top of my list." Um, 'Cause it would just be weird. I don't know. It seems less
yeah,
weird to me to be Shauna than Callie. Um, but, I yeah, I mean, Walter is still my number 1 suspect for everything,
yeah, me too.
um, followed by Callie,
Same.
but I am starting to, with the mention that, like, Melissa got close to, Hannah. I'm starting to kinda like the Walter is Melissa's brother theory.
Yeah, I like it better than the Walter is Melissa theory.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that, I mean, Walter is somebody.
Yeah.
There's something going on with Walter we don't know, and I really want to know what that is. I would
Eh
love some clarity.
yeah, there's still I mean, there's still a whole lot that needs to be explained. We still haven't gotten an explanation abo we still haven't gotten a better explanation of the symbol, but I bet
Yeah,
that's gonna reveal itself in the Cabin Daddy episode
episode, yeah, if that
whenever
ever
that comes out.
comes.
Um, but, who is your who's your MVP and who's your Sassy Magazine Award and your Zubaz Award this week?
Um, I think Sassy is gonna go to Nat. We didn't really talk about this. The
Yeah.
hunting scene was
Yes.
so cool. The way they were like completely silently communicating to each other, and like all had like worked out hand signals and facial expressions, and they were like able to like uh you know they were able to like let each other know exactly what they were thinking without speaking, and like do such a successful job at hunting these
Yeah.
adults, one of whom is like a woodsman. Very cool.
Right.
I thought it was a
Yeah,
great scene.
it was kinda cool to see him, like, running away from them scared,
Yeah.
like a bunch of teenage girls.
Misty. I love the part where they stop and they listen to the woods for a minute, and then they all
Yeah.
start running again, and Misty's at the end of the line, and she's like, "Grr."
Yeah.
She's the only one growling. I loved that.
I
Um,
love that too.
but yeah, I was gonna say Nat, because even though she is no longer in charge, she took charge hardcore this
Yeah, she did.
episode, and like is the only reason that things got settled down at all. Like I feel like Shauna would have just kept rolling them dice, letting things get crazier. She
Yeah.
probably would have killed them both. And we don't
Yeah.
know what useful information they might have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, eh, I would just be so focused on these people can get us home. I'd probably just be, like, taking out Lottie and Shauna at that point.
Mhm.
Like, if I have to club you bitches over the head, until your brains spill out on the ground, I will do it if it means I get home.
I would offer like Lottie's family has money.
Yeah.
Like you guys, we were starving. Don't tell anyone about the head, and we'll give you tons and tons of money.
Yeah. Yeah. I would take it.
Yeah.
I would take it. I mean, I wouldn't take it if it was just like a bunch of teenage girls I happened upon on the street in civilization that had just killed somebody. I'd be like, "Fuck you, man." But I mean, the wilderness, yeah, like
This is definitely a situation that is out of the norm.
yeah,
I
I would
would
take the
go
money
with
at that point.
it.
Be like, "Secret's safe with me."
Yeah.
I didn't
I
see any
don't want
head.
any of you terrifying children to murder me.
Yes. Exactly. Um, but yeah, no, that the hunt scene was very cool. And
Zubas.
I loved Ty letting the frog go. That's so cute.
I really Van was it Van?
Oh, was it Van? I thought it was Ty.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, "There you go, buddy.
Mhm.
You're free."
That was very cute.
And there
I
and Lottie's just like and a apparently Lottie yeah, Lottie's just trying to fuck a bunch of frogs. Who knew?
You want
Who knew
food?
she got down like that?
Hey, frogs. Yeah. I thought that was the reveal was so funny to me because like the whole end of the last episode, they're like crying out to it and like, what is it? What is this mystical like force that's answering them? And it's fucking like literally a frog orgy.
Yeah.
Um, loved it.
I died
So
when I saw
funny.
that. Oh my
Um,
god.
also,
Like,
good.
that's one of the things it's not the first thing, but it's one of the things that really kinda sold me on the whole everything's logical thing because
Yeah.
it was so ridiculous that, like okay, but here's what I don't understand. In the subtitles, the first
Mm-hmm.
time like, I think it was episode 1 when we first heard the screams,
Mm-hmm.
the subtitle said baby crying.
I think that's because we were hearing it through Travis's ears
Okay.
and he was on mushrooms.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is my guess, is that it was like I don't know if you're familiar with hallucinogens, but
I did mushrooms
sometimes
once and puked.
oh,
So,
we'll do way better. We'll talk
got
about this off
nothing
air.
happened. Nothing happened from
Um,
it.
but there's this thing that I like to call like just brain chaos when you're trying
Okay.
to like sleep or relax, where you're just like having auditory hallucinations and like hearing people talk or like car horns or balloons or just stuff that's not there
Yeah.
at random. And I think that's what Travis was experiencing because he was doing way too many shrooms to have fun.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a
That
great
makes sense.
plan, especially with all that trauma. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Um, yeah,
that's my best guess.
I was wondering about that, and people got really upset with us too because I said something about a baby crying, and they're like, "Spoilers, spoilers!" Like, that's not a spoiler. It
It's
literally
in the
said in the
subtitles.
I know,
Is
I know. Yeah.
okay.
But,
We could be like, the next episode is coming out, and they'd be like, spoil.
yeah, like, it's just there was a whole big to do because somebody asked about the baby crying, and somebody responded. They're like, "No, there's a baby crying, but it's revealed in an upcoming episode, and Kelly's spoiling stuff, and blah, blah, blah."
Of course.
No, it was literally in the subtitles.
In the
Um,
first episode, in the very
yeah,
first
yeah,
episode, yeah.
yeah, we knew as much
Whatever.
as you guys. Um, but, uh but anyway, what
Oh,
else? Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Zubas is going
Wait, let's
to
hey, hang on. Before we get there,
mhm,
let's rewind a little bit because I wanna talk
mhm.
about Jeff and Kelly.
Yeah.
Um, so, what did you think of that whole thing? Um,
Uh,
Kelly's
I
on our list of contenders for who might have killed Lottie.
yeah. I
Um,
was really shocked with the way that Shauna spoke to him.
Yeah.
before she left, just being
Yeah.
like, babysitter our daughter or I'll kill you both.
Yes.
Uh, pretty intense. And I really liked them having a frank discussion about the fact that all of the people, all the women in their lives are kind of monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, poor Jeff is literally he has hives from stress.
I know.
Um, yeah, I liked that scene a lot. I think it's good that they're touching base and that they're finally talking about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like Jeff should tell Callie what he knows. I feel like that would help him a lot. Um,
Yeah.
he's not processed. He's never processed any of his trauma. He's just like a sponge for Shauna to pour her rage into,
Right?
and he never gets to work through any of that. I mentioned this a bunch, but when we did that interview with Melanie Linsky, and she said that she didn't think Jeff had any darkness, and I'm like, he snuck and read your diary where you admitted you ate a bunch of people and never said a word and just put it away and kept
Yeah.
playing like father knows best.
Yeah.
Like, Jeff's got some darkness. uh
Yeah.
yeah, so I think I love that they're finally like starting to process the effect that living with a human time bomb of emotion and trauma and repression is rearing its head in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I really liked it too. I'm liking the Jeff and Callie,
Yeah.
the Jeff and Kelly focus this season. I think it's kind of cool. I always liked their seasons together.
Hmm. They're good scene
Um,
partners.
yeah, yeah, they really are. I like them a lot together. Did you notice that Kelly was wearing little bee earrings?
Little what?
She was wearing little bee earrings.
Baby?
Bee, BEE.
Bee. Oh,
Yeah,
cute. No, I didn't
yeah,
notice that.
yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cute because I have earrings just like that, and so I noticed them right away. I was like, oh, I have those earrings. Um, but yeah, I I'm just really curious about Callie. Like, I wish I knew everything that was going through her head because I think there's possibility that she killed Lottie, and I also think she's completely terrified of her mother, which why would she be so terrified if she's an actual full-blooded killer herself, you know?
Hmm.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if I don't want to speculate too much, but I definitely think Callie is a contender for who killed Lottie, but I don't necessarily think that if she did it on purpose. I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
seems
that's
like
what I
whatever
think too.
happened, like there was some sort of struggle and Lottie fell down the stairs. I'm thinking it could have whoever could have killed her, it could have been an accident.
Yeah. I mean, depending on who killed her. If it was Walter, I think it was deliberate.
Yeah.
If it was Kelly, I'd have a hard time imagining that she would've, like, killed her in cold blood. I mean,
Yeah.
it was most likely an accident. Um, but, yeah, so for me, it depends on who killed her.
Hmm.
But we are supposed to find out in episode 10 for sure.
Nice.
Um, I do like the idea that Walter could possibly be Melissa's brother because that would that would add another really interesting layer. I
It would
still
make
think
sense.
yeah, I still think we haven't heard the last about Adam.
I hope not.
Yeah. Um, of course, there are a few other things though that seem to have been kind of dropped, which bums me out too, and which I'm forgetting right now off the top of my head, but I was thinking about earlier. I'm like, huh, we never went back to that. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to like I mean, I do think Hillary Swank is going to be Melissa because they seem to
Yeah.
hint at it so heavily.
I when they announced the casting, I was like, there's no way Joel McHale is going to be in the team timeline. So is he like a
Yeah.
cop or?
Yeah.
Now, lo and behold.
Yeah, who could have seen that? Um, I'm still kind of bummed, like, nothing against Hilary Swank, but I, like, I just think she looks nothing like Melissa.
Mhm.
Um, I
Have you
I
seen
could
her with a
totally
backwards
see.
hat on? I
I
feel
could
like they pull
see
it together.
either, like, Misha Barton or Heather Graham.
I've seen people say Mina Suvari, which I think is a good pick.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see
Mhm.
Mina Suvari. I could see Heather Graham a lot.
I could see Heather Graham. I
Yeah.
think Heather Graham's just a little bit too pretty.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that like that because Jenna Burgess is a beautiful, like beautiful girl, but like woman. I'm sure she's an adult, but I like Heather Graham's features are just like very fine,
Yeah.
and Jenna's are a little stronger.
Yeah.
Not that I think that Hillary's a better match for those features, but I love Hilary Swank. I think she's such a brilliant actress. So I'm excited
Yeah, no, she is.
for us to
She is.
finally get to see her.
But yeah, I mean, she was seen with blue contacts, so
Yeah.
it's gotta be, like, why would she have blue contacts?
Mm-hmm.
She's part of the Severance Yellowjackets crossover.
Ooh.
That's why.
Isn't there criminally underused guest stars?
She's living in Salt she's from Salts she's been living in Salts Neck,
Salt Neck
and, yeah.
with Hammond, Hampton.
Yeah, yeah, and in season 3, we're gonna see her in Salt's Neck with her backwards hat on, along with Scott McCord and Melissa McBride.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
It'll be
Anyway.
like the like Saturday morning cartoons where they all get together on one show
Yeah.
to tell you not to do drugs, except
Yes.
mystery box shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get
They'll
on
be
that. Who do
the
we
Salt's
call?
Neck posse. They'll be part of the Salt's Neck posse.
Huff and Ether and having a great time.
Yeah.
Um,
Hilary Swank and Scott McCord and Melissa McBride all getting high on ether together. It'll be awesome. Um
oh, the one last bit I wanted to talk about was Aquila and Travis.
Yes.
Um, I just need him to spit it out. I'm so tired of watching him like chew on his guilt over this.
Yeah, I know.
Like I know he made a bad call and he feels really terrible,
Yeah.
but like nut up, Travis, like get it together. Like
You
just
know, I can see why he's nervous about it though, because he seems to really care a lot about her.
yeah. How could you
And
not?
I know, I know. He seems to care a lot about her, and I think she's probably one of the only ones that he's not afraid of.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I could
so,
see that.
like, I could see him being afraid to
She
have her
was
mad at him.
involved with him being assaulted, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I guess they've talked it out since then, but
I mean, he
um,
still has Natalie. I don't think he'll ever be
yeah,
afraid of Natalie,
no.
but,
He's definitely afraid, which is fair. I would be
yeah,
afraid if I was Travis too.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And he's just been through so much.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I'm just like I really want him to quit being like, oh, maybe it's not real. Like just say it. Just tell her. Just let's break the glass and move on.
He should have just done it right away. He could have been like, "Look, I just called an audible, like, I couldn't think of anything. Like, I'm sorry. We'll
Yeah.
just come up with a story to tell Lottie, and, and that's it." And then as for why Aquila doesn't
Speaking
wanna
of
go
Lottie,
in
She's getting my Zubas award.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's use you as sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spending the entire episode eating Nick from IT's brains was not in my bingo card.
Fucking useless.
I can't, like, that was so wild. Did you see the spoilers interview that they did with the cast?
Yes.
Where, yeah, that's the scene Courtney says too, like straight up. And I
Oh
get
my
it,
god.
but
Oh.
wow, I was not expecting that at all. I was like, how are they gonna get out of this one? There's a head right there.
Oh
But
my
yeah.
god. Just absolutely hilarious. Everyone's hot hunting and she's just being completely useless, just playing with the guy's brain.
Ooh, finger painting. Finger painting with his brain juice.
God. That's one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever seen. Oh, my stomach hurts now. Too hard about this. Oh, I dreaded talking about that because I knew I was going to say it. Um,
What a show.
yeah, so I know. Lottie gets fuck your blood dirt, Lottie.
Go fuck your blood dirt, Lottie.
God, I'm so glad
Epic
this show is
burn.
good again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
I give them. I mean, you know, I didn't realize like no one in the fandom knows about them losing that episode last season. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it got a lot of like talk. I thought people were like talked about it, but like nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
kinda
like that
crazy.
explains so much of the problems with the last season is they had to rush to like fix
Yeah.
everything and patch everything up and make it, you know, appear seamless, which it was not. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love this season. I've enjoyed every episode. I've had a great time watching every episode, and
Same.
this one was. I feel like from 5 on, they just keep like just get
I
wilder
know.
and wilder.
Yeah, it's completely unhinged this season.
Yeah,
So who's getting your sassy award?
I said Natalie.
Oh, okay. You already said Natalie, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine. We got into a long talk about the rest of the episode in the
yeah.
meantime. But yeah, Natalie for being able to regain control of the situation, which
Yeah.
could have very easily spiraled out of hand and ended up with no one available to try and rescue them.
Yeah.
They would have potentially never found their camp if they would have, like, you know, Shauna would have just offed them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, Natalie being able to like silence Shauna and let Lottie play in her blood and take control of the situation, I thought was really powerful and like shows how much the majority of them still trust her and think that she's probably the better leader, but they're just terrified of Shauna,
Yeah.
justifiably.
But
Justifiably.
but Lottie, of course, is the one who appointed Shauna leader because Lottie's on her wavelength.
Are you
Jesus.
into murder?
Yeah.
Great.
Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, my Zubas award is also going to Lottie. Not for just being completely useless and playing in brains, but for just axing the guy in the head. In the
So
first place.
brutal.
Yeah, because
And
like
then
that
she's
was
like up in Hannah's face when they bring Hannah back all covered in her boyfriend's blood, and she's like, eh.
yeah, what the fuck? Um,
So
and
rough.
Shauna gets some Zubas shorts for like just
I think that's worse.
I don't know. I mean, you could at least like wear a long t-shirt or something and cover up most of
That's
the
a good
shorts.
point.
I don't even know if there are Zuba shorts. I have no idea. Um,
I
but
hope not.
yeah, me too. Um, but but yeah, Shauna gets some Zuba shorts for that crazy ass smile.
Yeah.
She she was so excited to see.
The proposition to just kill them all
Yeah.
and wait for the search party to come for them, like, you don't know if anyone knows that they're out there.
Yeah. Seriously.
They have a wood guide, like, yeah.
Right? Um, I like I personally just I don't understand. I think the only way to effectively lead that group is to have a council of 3 leading them, led by Ty, Van, and Natalie. I think because Ty is hands down, like, she's a natural born leader. But she's got this other, like, Issa's.
Does anyone else know about that besides Lottie and Van, though?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows about Issa besides the two of them. I might be wrong, but
But
well,
yeah,
Misty
like,
says it in the adult timeline,
yeah.
so they find out at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I It bothers me that no one has ever suggested that Van be
Oh,
leader
well,
or that
Shauna.
Ty be leader.
Shauna knows all
Oh,
about it.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like, but if Van's around to like kind of take over for her when Issa slips in there, then I think they're good. And Natalie doesn't have the leadership abilities that I think Ty has, but she's fair and she's practical.
Yeah. She can
Um,
make the hard call.
yeah, which Aquila would not be able to do.
No, I don't think Aquila would be a good leader.
No, definitely not. But yeah, they should just have a council led by Nat and Ty and Van, and that's it. Um, but yeah, it's crazy that 2 of the 3 Antler Queens are Lottie and Shauna. I
The
mean,
craziest ones. Yeah.
that's just wild. Um, so yeah, so that's who gets my Zubas. My sassy award. You know what? I'm gonna go kind of rogue on this one.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. How do I?
So yeah, I think for my sassy award, I'm gonna go a little rogue here and give it to and not just because it's my last name, but the Keene University herpetology group, because they got all those like they've got all of those fucking kick-ass supplies. Um and if they can find them all, if our group can find them all, they'll have hot chocolate and peanut butter bars and
Mhm.
all kinds of shit. All kinds of good shit. Um
Yeah. I wonder
so
how sick everyone will get from eating a bunch of like like sweets and processed food again.
oh my god, can you imagine?
They'll probably skip that. I don't think
Yeah.
everyone is.
Imagine eating um imagine eating a really sweet peanut butter bar after eating all of that crap.
Bats. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would throw up from the sweetness.
Absolutely. Your body could not process that. You would
Yeah.
probably throw up.
Yeah, I would think so. Um, but, do we have anything else that we still need to talk about regarding the episode?
I feel like we covered it.
Yeah, I think so too.
We already
Um,
talked about the needle drop at the end. I liked them using Sugar Ray, even though it was the most obvious use of that song almost in the history of media. Um, if we're talking, we didn't do needle drops, but
yeah.
yeah, it would have been the last song for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love
Yeah.
Cocktail Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister's a lot older than me, and she was a massive Cocktail Twins fan. So that's why I started listening to them really young. Um, like younger than I would have if I didn't have an older sibling to introduce me to them. Um, but yeah, that's definitely my needle drop of the week too. Um,
Same.
I still remember the first time that I heard Fly on the radio because my boyfriend at the time was picking me up from the train, um, and after work, and he was a huge Sugar Ray fan.
Like you
And
were at the time.
like that song came on the radio and he wasn't changing it, but he was kind of making fun of it. And then they said it was Sugar Ray and he was like, "What? What?" And then he was like, I'm like, "Why is that weird?" He's like, "I'll play some Sugar Ray for you when we're home and you'll understand why that's really fucking weird."
Oh, I've never heard the other Sugar Ray.
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore.
I had no idea. Mark
Yeah,
McGrath?
not poppy at all.
Interesting.
Not at all.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah.
Or not.
Um,
No, I need to know about this.
but so if you guys are not, oh wait, really quick before before I close this out with some housekeeping stuff. I want to tell you guys, no spoilers here or anything like that. Don't worry. But just for the rest of the season, if you have time, I would highly recommend watching the pilot again. Um, if you have time before the end of the season. So that it's fresh in your mind because there are certain things that happen in the show that I think you'll appreciate more if you have the pilot fresh in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I watched it like I started watching it. I didn't finish it, but like I'm gonna sit down and watch the pilot again this weekend and
It's a
like
good
before I watch the rest of
suggestion.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but other than that, um, check out our Yellowjackets cast interview if you haven't done that yet. It's great. We are working on adding some other interviews probably after the season. Also, we cover Severance. So if you're a Severance fan, we do live chats every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So this week is our very last one, and Dawn will be joining us for that as always. And then once Yellowjackets is over, then we'll start working on our off-season stuff for both Severance and Yellowjackets, as well as From, because we cover that as well. So check out our coverage on that if you're not a fan of From. And if you've never seen Severance or From, you'll love them. If you love Yellowjackets,
Yeah.
you'll absolutely love both shows.
Check them
Um,
out.
yes, brilliant stuff. Also, we have lives every Sunday for Yellowjackets at 10 p.m. Eastern. So come join us. And if we get enough people in the chat, we'll do a giveaway. Um, it was really hopping last week, which
Mm-hmm.
took me by surprise. So like we didn't even talk about doing a giveaway because we didn't realize it was going to be that hopping. So come
Mm-hmm.
join us and we'll do a little giveaway. Um, also, we are still looking for a social media manager and an editor, and we're also looking to just add people to our team in general. If you want to make short form content for us, or either the shows that we already cover, or like if there's a show that you want us to be covering that we're not, that you want to make content for, let us know. We are doing something right now with short form content where we are particularly looking for people of marginalized identities to create short form content that basically, from their perspective regarding certain issues in the shows that we cover, like racism, sexism, um, ableism, homophobia, transphobia, all that kind of stuff. And,
Mhm.
and of course, like you can do short form content on whatever you want, but that's kind of our goal with the whole thing is we really want to we're really big on representation and talking about these issues on the show from the perspectives that matter. And so if that's something that you'd be interested in, get in touch with us. There will be an application link in our description. And for our short form content, basically like if it brings in any money, you'd get to keep it all. We would just we would just pay for editing if there's any editing that needs to be done on it, and that's about it. But yeah, we are always looking to expand our team. So hit us up if you're interested in joining us. And with that, I think we're good for the week.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and Yellowjackets all.
Buzz buzz.